You step into your home, the door clicks shut behind you, and for a moment there's quiet. It should be comforting, familiar. But sometimes, even in that stillness, something feels off. Not loud, not dramatic, just a subtle weight in the air, a quiet tension that lingers. Most people chalk it up to the weather, the news, or maybe just getting older. But what if the unease has been coming from your home itself, and more specifically, from the very first thing your eyes land on when you walk in? In Feng Shui, the entryway isn't just where you hang your coat. It's the moment your outer world meets your inner space. And what you see right then, before you've even set down your keys, acts like a silent signal. It tells your energy whether to settle or scatter. That signal might be warm and inviting, but too often, without even realizing it, we let it become something else, a mirror that reflects stress back at us, a trash bin left too close to the door, a cluttered pile of shoes that greets us before any human voice. These aren't just messes, they're messages, tiny cues that speak to our nervous system, telling it to brace, or worse, to shut down. And in 2026, when the world outside continues to feel unpredictable, the way your home receives you matters more than ever. That's why today, we're going to look closely not at the whole house, not at complex rules, but at the very first image you see when you step through your front door. Because that one image may be doing more than you think. It might be quietly shaping your mood, your luck, even your sense of peace. Let's begin right there, where your feet land, where your eyes go, where energy enters or turns away. Mistake 1: a single object can flip the whole energy field. The moment you open your front door, before you greet anyone, before you even realize how tired you are, your eyes land somewhere. That first glance happens automatically. You don't choose it. And that's exactly why it matters. One object placed directly in that line of sight can quietly shape how your body relaxes or tightens every single day. In many American homes, that object is a mirror facing the front door. It seems harmless, practical, even. A quick check before heading out. A way to make a small entryway feel bigger. But this is where a subtle mistake begins, one that doesn't shout, doesn't break anything, yet slowly unsettles the energy of the entire home. When a mirror faces the front door, it creates an immediate reversal. Instead of welcoming energy inward, it sends it right back out. Think of it like opening a window on a cold day, only to feel the warm air rush out before it has a chance to fill the room. Over time, that repeated pattern matters. You come home carrying the weight of the day, appointments, worries, unanswered questions, and the first thing you meet is your own reflection, often under dim lighting, sometimes reflecting a hallway, a bathroom door, or a cluttered corner behind you. It's not about superstition. It's about the nervous system. Seeing yourself instantly, without transition, keeps your mind alert when it should be softening. Instead of feeling received, you feel observed. Many people describe this feeling without knowing why. They say, "I don't really relax when I get home," or "I feel restless for no reason," or "I'm home, but it doesn't feel grounding." A mirror at the entrance reinforces that sensation. It pulls your attention outward again, even though your body is trying to come back in. Day after day, this creates a pattern. Energy enters, meets resistance, and leaves. Not dramatically, quietly. And quiet patterns are the ones we live with the longest. There's also an emotional layer that often goes unnoticed. When you walk in tired, perhaps discouraged, and immediately see your own face reflected back at you, that image can amplify whatever you're carrying. Stress reflects stress. Fatigue reflects fatigue. Instead of a soft landing, you get a visual echo of the day you're trying to put down. Over time, this contributes to a subtle sense of depletion. Motivation feels harder to hold on to. Decisions feel heavier. Money worries linger longer than they should. It's not that the mirror causes problems, but it constantly reminds the mind to stay on guard. What makes this mistake so common is how reasonable it feels. Mirrors are normal. They're everywhere. And that's why this one is often overlooked. But the entryway is not just another spot in the house. It's a threshold, a pause between the world and your private life. That pause matters. When it's interrupted by reflection, the transition never completes. Energy doesn't get a chance to settle. Neither do you. Correcting this doesn't require removing mirrors from your life or redesigning your home. It's about placement and intention. When a mirror is moved to the side or positioned so it reflects something calming, a plant, a piece of art, a source of natural light, it stops pushing energy away and starts circulating it. The same object, different message. Instead of saying turn back, it says look at what's growing here. This first mistake sets the tone for everything that follows. Because once you understand how a single object can reverse the flow of energy, you begin to see your home differently. You start noticing what welcomes you and what quietly resists you. And that awareness becomes the foundation for the next adjustments, the ones that build on this shift and allow your space to finally support you instead of working against you. Mistake 2: a small thing sends the wrong signal. You wouldn't think a trash bin could shape your luck. It's just a container. Necessary. Ordinary. Something that every home needs and no one pays much attention to. But in Feng Shui, especially in the subtle flow of energy at your front door, this one small thing sends a message louder than you think. And when that message is wrong, it doesn't shout. It slowly seeps into your home, into your day, into you. Let's go straight to the image. You open your front door after a long day. You're carrying groceries, bills, a conversation still echoing in your mind. And what's the first thing your eyes catch? A trash bin visible, maybe even slightly open, sitting just inside the entryway. You don't even pause. You've walked past it 1,000 times. But your body notices. Your breath shortens just a little. Your energy drops just a little. Your home, meant to be a sanctuary, greets you with the symbol of rejection, of disposal. Of this doesn't belong here. That's not just an object, that's a signal. A silent one. But your nervous system hears it clearly. In Western homes, especially smaller ones, it's common to keep the trash bin near the entrance for convenience. It makes sense logically: less walking, quick disposal, easy access. But emotionally, energetically, symbolically, it tells a very different story. The front door is the mouth of your home, the receiving point for all new energy, all new opportunity, all the fresh flow of life coming in from the outside world. And the first thing that flow meets is a container meant to hold what's no longer wanted. The contradiction is subtle, but deep. Instead of saying, "You're welcome here," the space says, "This is where things come to be thrown away." And that message doesn't stay at the door. It travels inward. Over time, it can influence how inspired you feel, how supported you feel, how creative, how rested. You might find yourself forgetting things more easily, feeling irritable, or strangely uninspired at home. You clean your space, you light a candle, but the heaviness lingers, because the very first step into your home is framed by something that represents the opposite of invitation. Let's talk about energy in real, grounded terms. Not just vibrations or ideas, but feeling. When the first thing your eyes see is low vibration, a dark bin, a plastic bag, even a faint smell, it sets your internal tone. Not consciously, but predictably. That's how humans work. We respond to cues. When those cues say, waste, decay, discard, our systems react accordingly. They protect, they brace, they close a little. That's not superstition, that's survival. And it's exhausting when it happens over and over again in the place that should recharge you. And then there's the matter of smell. Even a clean bin, if not sealed properly or emptied regularly, can carry a faint odor. It may not be strong, you may not notice it outright, but your senses do. And smell, more than any other sense, is directly connected to memory and mood. That sense, subtle as it is, can unconsciously anchor you to a feeling of discomfort every time you enter your home. It's like whispering a negative thought to yourself 5 times a day. Eventually, it sticks. Correcting this doesn't mean removing your trash bin entirely. It means honoring its energy, its message, and its place. Choose a bin with a closed lid. A soft, neutral color that blends with the space instead of dominating it. Place it away from the direct line of sight from the door, behind a cabinet, to the side, or in a dedicated utility area if possible. And if space is tight, offset its impact with something living like a small plant or a source of natural light. Something that says fresh instead of discarded. Energy responds to intention. And the way you frame this one object can either block or restore the welcoming tone of your home. Here's what this mistake teaches us: it's not about how big or dramatic something is. It's about what it says and when it says it. The trash bin placed right at the front door might not ruin your life, but it speaks first. And what speaks first tends to set the mood for everything that follows. So if your space has felt heavy, stuck, or low, check the quiet things. The things you've stopped seeing. The things that might be sending the wrong signal before you've even had a chance to take off your coat. Because when you open your door, your home should be saying, "Come in. Rest here. You matter." Not throw it away. Mistake 3: scattered shoes are stories left unfinished. There's something deeply personal about shoes. They carry the dust of every place you've walked, the pace of every day, the memories of every errand, every visit, every return. And when they pile up unpaired, uneven, casually tossed near the front door, they don't just take up space. They speak, quietly, constantly. And what they often say is this: nothing is settled here. In many homes, the shoe area is overlooked. It's utilitarian, a place to leave the outside behind before stepping into the quiet of home. But when shoes are left scattered facing different directions, tipping over, mismatched, it sends a message, not just to the energy of the space, but to the mind and body entering it. The message is one of interruption, movement with no closure, paths that started but haven't quite ended. Think of the moment you come home. You close the door behind you, seeking stillness, hoping to exhale. But the first thing you step into is a small chaos. A tumble of shoes, some clean, some worn, some from yesterday's rush. It may seem minor, harmless, but energy doesn't care about scale. It responds to rhythm. And when that rhythm is broken, when there's no visual landing place, no sense of containment, it's harder for your mind to fully arrive. For women who've spent decades nurturing others, holding families together, managing full lives, this might be a familiar feeling. Always moving, always tending, always stepping in and out. The pile of shoes becomes a mirror of that unspoken truth. Part of you is always half home, half on your way somewhere. But home is meant to be a pause, a full stop, a place where your energy can come back to itself. Scattered shoes keep that energy fragmented. There's also a symbolic boundary at play. In Feng Shui, the entryway marks the border between the external world and the inner space. It's where you shed what doesn't belong inside: noise, rush, stress. Shoes carry the energy of public places, sidewalks, supermarkets, hospitals, even arguments overheard in line. When they're left in disarray, right at the threshold, that external noise is invited in. It lingers. It settles into the floor, the air, the emotional tone of your home. And over time, it can lead to tension without origin, restlessness without reason. But the beauty of this mistake is how easily it can be softened. No need for perfection. Just intention. A shoe cabinet with closed doors. A neutral tone that blends into the space. A simple habit of placing shoes neatly, side by side, not just as routine but as ritual. A way of saying, "I'm here, I'm not rushing out, this moment matters." If space is limited, a small bench, a fabric curtain, even a woven basket can hold the energy differently. It's not about hiding the shoes, it's about holding them. About creating a place where even the most mundane objects feel like they belong. Because when things belong, people do too, and there's a small magic in alignment. When your shoes are orderly, facing inward, gently placed, they guide the energy in the same way. Inward, calmly, without resistance, like a whisper saying, "Come in, you're safe here." So next time you arrive home, before dropping everything, look down. What's waiting for you? A story unfinished or a welcome complete? Because even something as simple as a shoe, when left ungrounded, can keep a piece of you from settling into the moment you've most been needing. Mistake 4: door faces door and energy just slips away. Some spaces feel quiet the moment you walk in. Others feel exposed, unsettled. Like something is already rushing past you before you've even taken your shoes off. If your front door directly faces a bathroom door, you may know this feeling without knowing why. It's not about what the bathroom is, it's about what it represents. And when it's the first thing your home offers to the energy entering something vital begins to slip away. Bathrooms are necessary, but they are, by nature, spaces of release, cleansing, flushing out what no longer serves. They carry the energetic signature of letting go, water swirling, air shifting, things moving downward. Now imagine that the front door, meant to welcome in fresh life, faces that exact space. What happens? The energy that's meant to flow in, settle, and nourish instead finds an exit, a soft escape, and it leaves, often before you even know it arrived. From an emotional standpoint, this layout creates a subtle contradiction. The moment you step into your home, your eyes are drawn into a space that's private, functional, and often uninviting. Even the most spotless bathroom carries the suggestion of vulnerability. Pipes, drains, tile, porcelain, symbols of exposure, of things not meant to be seen first. And yet, they are. And the nervous system, always scanning for cues of comfort or caution, registers that. It may not panic, but it doesn't fully soften either. Over time, this impacts how safe your home feels, not in terms of locks or alarms, but in terms of emotional grounding. You might find yourself closing doors without knowing why, feeling unsettled in the evenings, or struggling to truly rest, even when everything's quiet. That's the cost of misdirected energy. It doesn't cause chaos, but it leaves things unanchored, like a breeze that enters a room and disappears out the back before it has time to warm the air. In homes where space is limited, this layout is common. You may not be able to change the structure, but you can change the conversation it creates. First, create a soft visual break. A curtain, a room divider, a tall plant, anything that interrupts the direct line of sight from the front door to the bathroom. Even something as simple as a fabric screen or frosted glass panel can create a pause, a moment of redirection. That pause is powerful. It gives the energy a chance to breathe, to look around, to settle. Second, keep the bathroom door closed when it's not in use. It may sound overly simple, but it makes a difference. It stops energy from being funneled into a drain zone. And psychologically, it restores privacy. Even if it's just you living alone, the closed door offers a sense of containment. A subtle reassurance this space knows what to reveal and what to protect. And third, consider what is visible from the front door. If you can't control the architecture, you can still control the experience. A painting, a lamp, a rug with warmth, something that catches the eye and invites it inward, not downward, not away. This mistake is less about what you see and more about what energy feels invited to do. If the first thing it meets is a release point, it will follow that cue. But if it meets stillness, softness, or warmth, it might stay. And staying, that's what energy needs to do in order to build anything of value, whether it's health, clarity, or financial flow. So the next time you walk through your door, notice where your eyes go. Notice what your space is asking energy to do. And remember, what slips away quietly can take something important with it. Soft transition. If it's been wrong, what feels right? Maybe you didn't know what was missing. Maybe you were just tired, or distracted, or caught in the rhythm of every day. But now that you've seen what might be quietly pulling your energy away, the mirror, the bin, the scattered shoes, the open door, you're probably wondering what could feel better. What could greet you instead? Not in theory. Not in big renovations or complicated rearrangements. Just in that very first moment, the instant your eyes meet your home. What would whisper you're safe now? You're home. You can exhale. That's where we begin. With something so simple, so often overlooked, and yet so powerful it shifts the entire emotional tone of a space. A painting. Number 1. A gentle painting is the first whisper home. You don't need to believe in energy to feel the difference when you see something beautiful. You don't need to know Feng Shui to know how a single image can affect your entire mood. Imagine walking into your home, and instead of facing clutter, reflection, or exposed fixtures, your eyes meet a painting, a soft one, rolling hills, an open field, a quiet path winding through trees, or gentle waves under a muted sky. No bold colors, no hard lines, just a moment captured in stillness. A moment that says you're allowed to pause here. This isn't about art history or aesthetics. It's about emotional anchoring. When we enter a space, especially after a long day, our nervous system is scanning constantly. Is this space safe? Is it chaotic? Is it asking something of me or offering something to me? A gentle painting offers, it invites. It gives your energy a landing place. It says, nothing's urgent right now. You can breathe again. The reason this works goes beyond style. In Feng Shui, energy follows the eyes. Where you look is where the flow goes. So if the first thing your eyes meet is calming, open, and still, your mind follows. Your breath slows. Your heart rate adjusts. And something in you, maybe something you didn't even realize was tense, softens. It also offers something else: consistency. The same image, day after day, quietly shapes your emotional landscape. It becomes a rhythm, a visual habit. One that doesn't demand your attention but receives it with grace. And over time, that consistency becomes comfort. Familiar, reassuring. Like a friend who never needs to speak, but whose presence is always grounding. But not just any painting will do. This is not the place for abstract chaos, stormy oceans, or lonely figures on empty roads. Those images may be artistic, but they speak a language of unrest. And your entryway needs to speak peace. Choose imagery that opens rather than closes, that lifts rather than presses, that flows rather than interrupts. Soft colors, natural forms, uplifting movement. It doesn't have to be expensive, it just has to feel gentle. Size matters too. Large enough to draw the eye, but not so dominant that it overwhelms the space. And placement is everything. It should be the first thing you see, not hidden in a corner, not competing with keys or mail. Let it stand alone. Let it speak first. Because what speaks first sets the tone. And in a world that moves fast, a home that speaks gently, that's rare. That's sacred. For women who've spent their lives caring for others, managing chaos, and holding everything together, that first whisper matters. It doesn't just shift the energy in the room, it shifts how you feel inside it. A painting that welcomes you in is a reminder that you are worth welcoming. So ask yourself, what do your eyes see when you come home? What is the emotional message waiting for you on the wall? Is it neutral, cluttered, or sharp? Or does it offer something you long for, but rarely name: softness, openness, the sense that the world can wait just a little while longer? If you're ready to shift the mood of your space, start here. Start with what your eyes land on. Start with the image that will greet you not just today, but every day. Let it be still. Let it be kind. Let it be the first whisper home. Number 2, a living plant means you're still growing. You can tell a lot about a home by whether something inside it is still alive. Not just the people, not just the pets, but something green, something rooted. A living plant isn't just decor, it's proof of movement. A quiet reminder that time is passing, that growth is still happening, even in silence, especially in silence. And placing that living, breathing symbol right near your front door, where life energy enters, might be the most powerful thing you do to change how your home feels. Not flashy, not expensive, but full of meaning. Think of the contrast. You've just returned from the outside world: grocery lines, traffic, small talk, cold sidewalks. You step inside and the first thing you see isn't a pile of mail or an empty wall. It's something alive. Something that's quietly unfolding, leaf by leaf. That simple moment grounds you. The nervous system recognizes life and exhales. Because life doesn't rush, it unfolds. And plants, more than anything, teach us that truth every day without speaking a word. In Feng Shui, plants near the entryway serve as energetic translators. They take in the raw, sometimes harsh energy from the world outside and soften it before it moves deeper into the home. Their shapes, curving, gentle, upward reaching, invite energy to slow down, settle in, and nourish the space. And because plants are living, they don't just reflect energy, they participate in it. They receive, they respond, and in doing so, they become allies to your emotional landscape. But beyond energy flow, there's something deeply human in seeing growth each day. For women who've spent decades nurturing others' children, partners, careers, communities, a living plant is a moment of being nurtured back. Not by anyone else, but by your own environment. When you see new leaves, you're reminded things are still changing. So are you. Even now, even here, growth is still available. Choosing the right plant matters. You don't want something fragile, demanding, or sharp. Avoid cactus, spiky leaves, or plants that look defensive. This isn't about protection, it's about welcome. Go for soft foliage, rounded edges, plants that seem to breathe rather than guard. Peace lilies, pothos, ferns, or philodendrons do beautifully in these roles. They're forgiving, quiet, and grow with grace. And they're not there to be impressive. They're there to be alive. Placement is just as important. The plant should be visible from the doorway but not blocking it. It should lean toward light if possible. And its pot should feel sturdy, supportive, not too heavy, not tippy, something that suggests I'm rooted here but I'm reaching up. Because that's what energy is doing, two coming in, pausing and choosing to rise. And then there's care, the ritual of it. Watering, checking leaves, turning the pot toward the light. These are small acts, but they tether you to presence. To now. They say I'm still paying attention. I'm still connected to something that changes slowly. And in a world that pressures us to move faster, respond quicker, and stay busy, those quiet rituals become sacred. They remind you this is my home, and I'm still growing too. It's also worth noting what not to do. Don't place a dying plant near your front door. A plant with yellowing leaves, dry soil, or drooping stems sends the opposite message. It doesn't say life, it says neglect. And while all plants go through cycles, the energy at your entrance should feel hopeful, supported, cared for. If a plant is struggling, either move it to a recovery space or replace it with something more resilient. That's not harsh, it's respectful. Of the space, of yourself. So why does this matter so much? Because the entry of your home is the entry to your day, your thoughts, your energy. And when the first thing you see is a living being, a green, unfolding presence, it does something. It reminds you that life isn't over. That change hasn't stopped. That even now, something is still reaching for light. Maybe it's just a plant. But maybe, just maybe, it's also you. Number 3. Warm light, like a hand lifting the day off your shoulders. There's a kind of light that doesn't just brighten a room, it softens it. Not the overhead glare of a ceiling fixture, not the cold flash of a hallway bulb, but something gentler. A warm light that spills softly across the floor, touches the edges of a wall, glows just enough to say, "You're safe now. You can set it all down." That kind of light, placed just beyond your front door, can be the most healing energy your home offers, and it's often the most forgotten. When you walk through the door, your senses are on alert, even if you don't realize it. The body is scanning. Is this space cold or warm? Is it holding me or asking something of me? And the lighting before smell, before sound is the first answer to that question. Harsh light makes the body tense. Dim, unbalanced light confuses the mind. But soft, golden light calms both. It's like someone quietly reaching out and taking your coat, not with words, but with atmosphere. In Feng Shui, light is the purest expression of active, flowing energy. But not all light is created equal. The wrong tone or angle can scatter energy or create tension. But when light is warm, like morning sun filtered through curtains, or a lamp with a soft amber hue, it slows everything down. It tells the energy and your nervous system, you can settle here. It becomes less about seeing the space and more about feeling the space. And feeling is where true change begins. For women who've spent decades adjusting to others, raising families, managing homes, tending to everyone else's needs, this kind of light speaks directly to the self they often forget. It doesn't demand. It doesn't instruct. It simply says, "You've arrived. You matter." And when that message is repeated every day, at the threshold of your home, it rewires something deeper than habit. It shifts the entire tone of how you come home to yourself. This isn't about brightening every corner. It's about creating a point of rest, a glow that meets you before anyone else does. Consider a lamp placed low, with a linen or frosted shade, or soft LED strips tucked beneath a console, pointing downward, like moonlight finding the floor. Avoid blue tone bulbs, which mimic hospital or office light. Instead, choose warm white 2700 to 3000 K, the range that most closely resembles firelight. You're not trying to see everything. You're creating a moment, a pause, a gentle invitation. Where you place this light matters. Let it greet you from the side, not straight overhead. not directly in your eyes. Light that embraces, not interrogates. If there's a painting nearby, let the light brush across it. If you've placed a plant, let the glow catch its leaves. This interplay of texture, life and light tells a quiet story. Everything here is intentional. Nothing is rushed. Even more powerful is what this light replaces. Many entryways are either stark or forgotten. Fluorescent bulbs, burnt-out fixtures, a single exposed bulb near the coat rack. These speak of neglect, or worse, indifference. And the body knows the difference. You don't have to spend much to change that story. A $30 lamp, placed with love, can rewrite how your space feels from the moment the door opens. The point isn't brightness. The point is belonging. That the light belongs here. That you belong here. That after a long day in a noisy, demanding world, this space knows how to receive you without noise, without demand. Like a hand on your shoulder, not pushing, not pulling, just letting you know it's okay to rest now. So ask yourself, honestly, when you walk into your home at dusk or in winter, what kind of light meets you? Does it soothe or startle? Does it wrap around you or leave you searching in the dark? Because you deserve more than function. You deserve warmth. You deserve to be seen, gently, not all at once, but just enough to feel whole again. And that begins not with grand chandeliers or smart lighting systems. It begins with one warm light, placed where it can whisper, "You made it home." Final. So much of what we call home is built from habit. We put things where they fit. We decorate when we can. We get used to what we see and stop really seeing it. But energy doesn't stop. It moves through us and around us, responding to the smallest signals: a mirror facing the door, a bin too close to where we enter, a pair of shoes left half turned, or light that forgets to soften. These aren't just design flaws. They're conversations we're having with our environment every single day without words. But what if that conversation could change? What if your home could begin whispering new messages the moment you walk through the door? Messages of welcome, of grounding, of quiet beauty. What if you could shift the entire emotional rhythm of your life simply by adjusting what you see first? A gentle painting that reminds your eyes and your heart how to pause. A living plant that proves something is still growing here. A soft light that doesn't just show you where to go, but gives you permission to slow down. These are not trends. They are not rules. They are invitations. And you don't need to renovate your house to accept them. You just need to notice what you've stopped noticing. To choose one spot, just one, where you say, "This space holds meaning now." Your front door isn't just an entrance. It's a moment. The crossing between the world and yourself. Between noise and stillness. Between the energy that's coming in and the energy you're about to become. Thank you for walking through this journey with me. For caring deeply about your space. And for believing, even just a little, that beauty, peace, and fortune begin not in grand gestures, but in the quiet details we choose to honor. Wherever you are tonight, I hope your home feels just a little softer. I hope the first thing you see when you step inside reminds you that you are safe and seen and still growing. And if not yet, then maybe starting now. From my heart to yours, welcome home.